Well, at the same time, the military in Saudi Arabia has gone into a state of high alert following deadly clashes with the Houthis. They also tried to fire a missile over the kingdom towards Israel, and 4 Saudi soldiers reportedly died last week fighting Houthis close to the border with Yemen. Let me bring in now from Manama, Abdullah Al-Junaid. He's a Bahraini columnist and geopolitical analyst. Great to have you with us, as always, Abdullah. So we just heard there from one of the Houthi leaders. They very much want to enter the conflict. How concerned should Israel be? How concerned are they in the Gulf?
Well, put it this way, they are not the first. Because if we go back to 1990, during the liberation of Kuwait, how did Saddam Hussein manage to extend the range of his Quds to reach Riyadh? The same with the Iranian. They learned the lesson by scavenging other missiles and adding it to the booster to extend the range. The Iranian picked on the tip, and this is what they've been doing. And now the Houthis been doing that. They reached Yanbu earlier during the conflict. That should have been very, let's say, ringing the alarms bell in Tel Aviv and somewhere else. And after, targeting Abu Dhabi, I think everybody should have paid more attention to enable the coalition to end this stupid situation in Yemen. But thanks to the American and the British, they stopped us from finishing that job. And now Israel is paying that price alongside with us.
Well, quite. I mean, and we've got the Saudi defense minister in Washington right now. The Saudi-led coalition has been fighting the Houthi rebels, I think it was 7 years. And they were pressured, as you say, by the United States and others to accept a ceasefire with the Houthis. This is exactly the kind of situation that some are trying to force on Israel now. And now we're seeing, aren't we, if the job isn't finished, this is what happens.
Thank you very much. Put it this way, the minute the Americans step in, we're going to find everybody is making policies that's reflecting us, and we are at the receiving end of those bad policies. And when we wanted to do something about it, all of a sudden we have the nuclear agreement with Iran, with a free hand to roam around the Middle East and doing exactly as Iran wishes. And now Israel, everybody almost at the gate of Israel, from Golan Heights to Yemen.
Right, and Yaakov Lapin, thank you, Abdullah. Stay with us, Abdullah. Yaakov Lapin, I mean, this is proof, if we needed it, that Israel, Saudi Arabia, the moderate Gulf states are all on the same side in this conflict.
Of course, and I think that, the things that Abdullah said here are very, very important. The fact that Iran was allowed to basically do whatever it wanted, enrich uranium to 60%, enable its proxies to prepare for war, throw its weight around, bully other countries in the region, bully the moderate Sunni bloc. The Houthis were allowed to fester, and Israel also allowed Hamas to fester in the Gaza Strip. All of these policies have failed, and they are blowing up in the region's face. So this is another reminder that this is so much more than just Israel and Hamas. We have a radical jihadist genocidal bloc that is led by Iran, and all of the pragmatic, sane countries in this region are on the target list.
But Abdullah, I would just point out that the UAE is leading calls at the United Nations to get a ceasefire. Is there no sympathy with the Israeli position when you put it in the context of the war with the Houthis?
No. What we need to distinguish, Laura, is the humanitarian aspect of this crisis, and then addressing the issues that represent a direct threat to the stability of this region, or the security of any country in this region. So again, we spoke about this. Us and the Israelis need to come to terms in how to manage this crisis. Israel, under any circumstances, and a lot of Israelis now are voicing out their opinion, telling even the Israeli military that this, venture in eradicating Hamas, it's not going to be achieved militarily. We need to understand exactly what needs to be done from the perspective of regional collective security.
Avi Pazner, would you like to?
Yeah, I would like to add a comment. I don't think we should take these attacks by the Houthis lightly, although no harm was done, no damage was done. First of all, the very fact that we have been attacked demands a response. In the Middle East, you can't just absorb a missile attack and say, okay, nothing happened, we shoot them down. No. We have to act against those who attacked us. Those are the Houthis. Behind the Houthis, evidently, the Iranian. I think that if we do not react towards the Houthis, the Iranian will understand that as a sign of weakness. And it's true, it's 2,000 kilometers away, but we have shown already in the past we can reach that, we can target them, we can cause a lot of damage. And by the way, it's about the same distance from Israel to Yemen than from Israel to Iran. I mean, it will be a good show if we really launch, it's an area, I'm speaking about an aerial operation, of course, against the Houthi. It's a good lesson for everybody in the Middle East and for the Houthis masters, the Iranian. We have to react.
All right, well, Abdullah, I mean,
Laura,
yes,
Laura, would you mind just commenting on what Avi said?
Yes, please.
Avi, please pick up the phone and talk to your friends in Washington and convey that message. Let us finish the Houthis, but they need to understand that this is us collectively on the receiving end of those U.S. bad regional policies. Now, what we need to do, yes, go after the Houthis first, but at the same time, go after the Iran, organization in Iraq and Syria with a total response to eradicate those. And then I promise you, Hamas, we're going to recalculate every step it took.
I agree with every word you say, Abdullah, with every word you say. And I think we have to convince our American friends where the dangers lie in this region and work together.
No, I think we need to tell the American when it's concern our national security, it's us deciding what needs to be done.
But Abdullah, do you not see the similarities here? You know, the reason that the Americans pushed for a ceasefire in Yemen was out of concern for Yemeni civilians. The UN said it was the worst humanitarian catastrophe in years, and the same pressure is being put in Israel.
Laura, how many Iraqis died since 2003 until 2016?
Many.
Do you know the number?
Tens of thousands.
It is in millions. 1 second. Do you know how many Syrians got killed by the Russian and the Iranian and the Syrian and Hezbollah? It is close to 500,000. Do you know how many Yemenis killed in this crisis over the 7 years? It's not even 12,000. So don't tell me by buying into the liberal, United Nations agencies that manufacture those figures and making it the world worst human catastrophe, while ignoring what took place on the hand of Iran in Iraq, Iran and Iraq and Syria.
Do you see any change coming out of Washington then, following October 7th? Do you think the policy will change?
I think the Saudis have delivered a very clear message from what I read in the press. And I believe, as the Secretary of Defense have made it a priority. It's not just Gaza, but we need to address Yemen as well.
All right. Abdullah, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Abdullah Al-Junaid coming to us live from Manama in Bahrain, and more proof that we're very much on the same side. Yaakov Lapin, Avi Pazner, thank you to you both.
Thank you, Laura.
We're going to take a short break. We'll come